Well, welcome back to Hamilton Life. The Bright Run is an annual community fundraising event that raises money for breast cancer research at both the Juravinski Cancer Center and McMaster University. Joining me now are Nancy McMillan and Dr. Donovan. So great to have you both here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been an incredible journey in our community, having the Bright Run. And Nancy, we go way back. Like, I've been out at the Bright Runs with cameras, you know, showing the incredible fun that families have out there. So for those who'd be like, the Bright Run, might be a few people that still don't know. What is it all about? I know. What?
Bright Run is local. So it's local fundraisers, raising local dollars to support local researchers to advance breast cancer research that impacts internationally. So it's somewhat like the little engine that could, and boy, are we doing it. So this year, we are hoping to raise another $500,000.
Amazing.
And that'll be on Saturday, September the 12th at the Christie Lake Conservation Area. We were formerly back in the day at Dundas Valley, but we grew and grew, so we got promoted to Christie Lake. So it's just a day of celebration. It's electric, it's energetic, it's enthusiasm. It's just all things positive, and people leave with goosebumps, and it fills the fuel tank to get them through the following year.
Yeah.
And for a lot of folks who walk into the Juravinski Cancer Center, it gives them something to really look forward to as they're coming in for all of those appointments. And the people who are coming in with them, they've got something to look forward to, and they come and they have a blast.
Yeah, it really is a community event, and you built it into this amazing machine over the years, of course, with all the wonderful volunteers and everyone that supports in our community. And then, as you said, you know, people will come into the treatment centers to get the help that they need, supported by an also incredible group of amazing people that we have here in our community. And as you said, the money stays here in Hamilton. So Dr. Donovan, I'm going to come over to you because, Nancy, you did mention the money, you know, is for research and to advance, you know, what we already know. So you've been a recipient of some of this money to research and make some changes in, you know, how we look at breast cancer and just cancer in general. So what are some of the things that you've been working on?
So I am very fortunate to have two projects that have been funded by the Bright Run and the Bright Foundation. Both of these are focused on improving radiation treatments for patients with breast cancer and hopefully reducing toxicity and improving quality of life. One of these projects is looking at reducing the amount of treatment time in patients that need something called a boost. So that's when we need to treat the entire breast for a full week. That's the standard treatment. And then some patients have increased risk factors for local recurrence. And so then we give those patients an additional week of treatment. And so we're really looking at seeing if we can combine those 2 weeks into just 1 week, which we think will do a number of things. Of course, there's reducing trips to the cancer center, improving convenience for patients, which is really helpful when patients are trying to work or support a family. There's also the potential to reduce acute or short-term toxicities and late toxicities, improve cosmetic outcomes, and hopefully quality of life, and just increase the number of resources we have available to patients. So that's one study that the Bright Run has generously funded. The second study is looking at patients who have breast cancer that has spread outside of the breast, and we have really good drug treatments available for patients in this situation. And we want to see if we can prolong the life on those drug treatments by adding radiation in for patients that have progression in a few focused areas. So by giving local ablation or radiation to those areas, we can potentially keep patients on these drug treatments longer. These drug treatments are really tolerable, so patients may have improved quality of life. We may delay the time that we need to before starting more toxic therapies. And so these are just two examples of studies that the Bright Run has funded. I think it's really important to also mention that there are many of these projects that the Bright Run has funded in the past, and sometimes it's really hard to get research projects started because in order to start a really big practice-changing trial, you need to be able to get a huge amount of funding, let's say a federal grant, and often this is just not possible without having a foundation grant to get pilot data that you can then take for a larger grant application. And there's many trials that have changed practice and treatments for breast cancer internationally that have started with our small pilot studies founded by the foundation. So it's really important, and the work that's done fundraising goes a really long way. It really makes a big difference.
Yeah, and how it's all interconnected and so important to our community to get these funds so that you can do this research and we can advance things, you know. And looking back to Nancy, like, you know, you were diagnosed with breast cancer about, was it 18?
18 years ago.
And from your treatments 18 years ago to the treatments now, that's even changed, right? And that shows the advancement that has been occurring. So can we talk just a little bit about that? Because we had this little conversation before coming to the studio and I was quite amazed. So you said you did like 30 treatments?
Yes.
Which would now be how much? How many treatments, Dr. Donovan?
So many patients are eligible for just 5 treatments, actually. They're, everybody's a little bit different, so there are some circumstances where people may need more, but we've really developed the ability to really tailor and personalize breast cancer treatment for patients now based on a number of different factors, and part of that is reducing the number of treatments that patients have to come for and still having a safe and effective treatment.
And how amazing is that? Just for the quality of life,
Exactly.
for how much time it takes out of your life. Because as you mentioned too, like we're often still doing other things. Like people are functioning, still going to work, doing all these things while they're going through these treatments, which is really remarkable. But it's also because of how far it's come in the sense of making it more comfortable for people who have to deal with cancer. And I think everyone knows someone. I have 4 people now in my life that have had breast cancer but are now cancer free, and that's pretty incredible.
And the really interesting word is the word had.
Yes.
Had breast cancer. I had it. I don't have it now. Yeah.
Yeah, and look at what that gave you in the sense of the motivation to make change and to do what you keep doing in our community. And I think that that's what's so important, right, is that we all come together. We support something like the Bright Run that supports research, and then you do your incredible work and you make these, amazing discoveries and things that can change people's lives and make that journey just a little bit better, because we still, to this day, are scared when we hear cancer come out of the mouths of our doctors, right? So if we can make that journey better by the work and the research, it's incredible. So thank you both. I wish we had more time. Just by like that.
Well, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in and making the time to, Dr. Donovan, to talk about this. I think it's really important to come from someone like yourself. And of course, Nancy, it's great to always have you here. And it's wonderful to see you again. It's been a while.
Nice to see you too.
You're just in my backyard. I live right near Christie Conservation. So
we'll see you there September 12th.
Absolutely.